Hello guys and welcome back to another exciting episode of Grammar with Sri. I am Srihari from Genesis Training. Let's see what we have in store for you today. Guys, today we are going to be learning about the concept of adverbs. Let's see what adverbs is all about. What do adverbs modify? So in the previous video, we understood about verbs. So verbs are basically that denotes action or a state of being. So they modify the subject and they provide us more expression or action to it. So here in this video, let's understand what do adverbs modify. An adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb. For example, he sings loudly. So singing is an action. Loudly is a modifier, that is an adverb that describes the verb. Or an adjective. So for example, how does an adverb modify an adjective? Very tall. Tall is an adjective. Very is modifying tall. So tall becomes very becomes an adverb here. So adverbs can also modify another adverbs. So ended too quickly. Perfect example. Speaks for itself. Or even a whole sentence. For example, fortunately, I had brought an umbrella. So next is adverbs often end in ly. But some, such as past, look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts. Now let's look at a couple of examples to make this more clear. Tom Longboat did not run badly. Here the verb was run but the adverb was badly. Tom is very tall. Same like the definition. The race finished too quickly. So too is an adverb for finishing and also quickly. Fortunately, Lucy recorded Tom's win. It's easy to identify adverbs in these sentences. However, adverbs and verbs. So let us see the relation and how they work together hand in hand. One of the things adverbs do is modify verbs. This means that they describe the way an action is happening. For example, Phillips sings loudly in the shower. My cat waits impatiently for his food. I will seriously consider your suggestion. So if you see in these examples, so loudly, impatiently, seriously, so these are basically extending the verb. So they're just telling how the verb is being done. So singing is a verb, so it's done loudly. So waiting is a verb here, which is being done impatiently. Similarly, will, a state of being. So that is also a noun-action verb and it is being done seriously. The adverbs in each of these sentences above answer the question in what manner. So how does Philip sing? Loudly. How does my cat wait? Impatiently. How will I consider your suggestion? Seriously. Adverbs can answer other types of questions about how an action was performed. They can also tell you when we arrived early and where. Turn here. Adverbs and adjectives. Adverbs can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. Often, the purpose of the adverb is to add a degree of intensity to the adjective. For example, the woman is quite pretty. The book is more interesting than the last one. The weather report is almost always right. So as you notice, they're adding more intensity to the adjective. So pretty is an adjective, quite is building it up. So interesting is an adjective, it is having more. So more is giving more degree or it is defining an intensity to the book. And also about the weather report, it's almost always is adding more intensity to the function that is right. So let's see how adverbs behaves with other adverbs. So you can use an adverb to describe another adverb. In fact, if you wanted to, you could use several. So let's see an example how this works. Phillips sings rather enormously too loudly. So what happens in this sentence? So we are using rather, so that's giving a build up, enormously, that's huge, and too loudly, so you're adding more value to it. So too loudly, so not just big but extremely loud, so it's giving a lot of degrees to the adverb, making the description more and more. The problem is that it often produces weak and clumsy sentences like the one above. So be careful not to overdo it. So when you see the example, Philip sings rather enormously too loudly. It's very powerful, bombastic, but then again, it all means the same. So the overall weightage of the sentence goes down. So please keep it in mind when you're using adverbs. Next, let's see placement of verbs. Place adverbs as closely as possible to the word that is supposed to be modified. Putting the adverb in the wrong spot can produce an awkward sentence at best and completely change the meaning at worst. So be especially careful about the word only. So only is a word which is often misplaced in modifiers. So consider the following difference that will come out between the two sentences here for an example. Philip only fed the cat. Philip fed only the cat. So in the first sentence, it is very clear that the cat was being only fed by Philip. So he took extra care about the cat. But in the second sentence, Philip fed only the cat. So that meant Philip only fed the cat, but not the birds, but not the dog or the fish. So Philip fed only the cat means he was paying his attention only to the cat. So when an adverb is modifying a verb phrase, the most natural place for the adverb is usually the middle of the phrase. So for example here, we are quickly approaching the deadline. So an adverb when it is modifying a verb phrase. So approaching the deadline is a verb phrase. The most natural place is usually in the middle of the phrase. So we are approaching. So the state of being we are and approaching are the verb phrase in between which quickly arrives. Philip has always loved singing. So exactly, precisely in the middle. So 5 words dead in the middle. So even the math works out there. I will happily assist you. Likewise. Alright guys, it's time to take up your test on adverbs. I hope this video has helped you in understanding adverbs a lot better now. So finish this test. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.